Oh my god, another parry from. Oh, it's not looking good. Master needs to make something clutch happen. And. The mid. Again, another clutch hold.
Foul.
Oh my god! Dude, is he dead? He's not dead.
No,
One more
not
mix
yet.
up.
Not
One more
yet.
mix up.
Oh!
Oh my god!
Yo!
Dude!
This is real!
Are you serious?
This is real!
Are you kidding me?
Everyone has that one fighting game that seals them into the genre. Everyone sees a moment in fighting games hype enough to make you say, man, I want to learn how to do that. And sometimes we take a game and we go through a journey that changes the way you perceive the entire medium. For me, this fighting game series just so happened to be DOA, which in a lot of ways is kind of ironic considering the fighting games that I grew up on was Ready to Rumble Boxing, Rival Schools, and Tekken 1, with Tekken being the household favorite. Everyone at the family function would run Tekken games while the fathers were outside barbecuing or whatever fathers did in the early 2000s. So by all intents and purposes, I was low-key supposed to grow up and end up as a Tekken player. However, all of that changed with a specific Tekken entry that changed everything and kind of steered me down a course of accidentally discovering DOA with my homies and falling in love with the franchise so much to the point where I'm still here playing and making content for it 10 years later. Cartel, my people, my babies, my dogs, what's going on, y'all boys, man? You already know what time it is, man. It's your boy Golden Ghost, and welcome back to the Golden Ghost Cartel. And today I want y'all to just sit back, relax, grab some food, and enjoy this story time of how Golden Ghost fell in love with DOA and why DOA is the reason that to this day I still play fighting games. Let's begin. Golden Ghost Cartel. Now, as I explained before, growing up, I played Tekken as a traditional fighting game of the house. Outside of this, I really only play stuff like college football games, street ball games, Naruto and Dragon Ball games. And thanks to my brother, I also play some wrestling games. I was never really that good at Tekken per se. I was more so kind of just the guy that kind of just button mash and whatever happened on the screen happened on the screen. This kind of extended all the way up to Tekken 6 where Zafina was Zafina was introduced, and I kind of liked her a lot, but I was picking her, but I was still headbutting the stick. Time passes and we move on to a Tekken game known as Tekken Revolution. This game is extremely important for the timeline since this was a free-to-play game. And by this point, I was a kid in middle school, high school who couldn't afford that many games. So I was on that. There was a few games from that, free-to-play time I would mag dump hours into. Games like DC Universe Online, for an example. So a Tekken Revolution being free and me not wanting to be the joke of the friend group after a fighting game session no more, I tried for the first time to do more than just arcade mode stuff. I tried to play a fighting game online for the first time on this version of the game. Not only that, I was making gameplay videos of me playing Tekken Revolution ranked games and posting them on my old YouTube channel known as ImpureEpicity. I specifically remember I was making videos for that as well as Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 at the time. Now let me make something perfectly clear. I hate Tekken Revolution with every fiber of my being. It was basically just tag 2 with iframe attacks. I hated it for the gameplay, but I more so hated it because of the community, or I should say what happened to me in this community.
Oh my god, you're gonna be a little slut basket, bro. Oh my fucking god! You are a fucking bitch! You are a fucking bitch! Oh, you wanted to run away from me like a fucking hoe, dude!
That was me. And this is the only proof that I have of my old channel even existing in the first place. Because all of my old videos of that channel were removed, which I'll get into that reason in a little bit. But around this time, my rage videos for Tekken Revolution were popping off, enough so that a Tekken creator, one of the OGs of the Tekken creation space, if you will, known as Arsenal Ty, clipped this and put it in his rage compilation. He put a couple clips in his rage compilation.
Get ready for the next battle.
Stop! Fucking bitch!
You
Fuck.
lose.
Fuck this game, man! Fuck this game!
Main Man Sui, if you know Tekken, you know who Main Man Sui is. He made a reaction to a couple of these compilations, and all those fans made their way to my channel. Now, let me make something clear. I don't blame Main Man Sui or Arsenal Tai for what happened to me, since they are just creators and they can't control how their fan bases act. But from then on, every Tekken video I made, I was getting shit on in the comment section by people calling me ass, telling me I need to KMS for playing Lily, when that was the only character I had some semblance of playing at the level I was at. You know, the characters I actually like are Jun and Zafina, but you know, they're nowhere to be seen on that version of the game for me. And oh, let's not forget them Kazuya players, bro. The cosplayers of now are nothing like the cosplayers of back then, bro. I remember, since it was like a cosplayer that made me lose my shit for the first time, there were so many Kazuya PFPs in my comment section telling me I deserved every loss I took because I couldn't handle characters with high execution. Now, if you were to do this today, I won't be affected by a lot of this at all, just because, you know, I'm a grown man now, bro. I got a wife, I got a kid, I take care, I handle my business, bro. I've been around the block both online and in real life at this point, is basically what I'm trying to tell you. However, that shit happened to me when I was 15 years old. So you can imagine how distraught a kid was with all this shit. This went on for a few months time, and I believe it was around the end of 2013. I was just so defeated with it, man. I remember being at a point where I was literally only playing it because of the videos, and you know, the videos where I'm getting my ass beat and getting mad were the only ones that were getting like views and stuff like that. I cared really much about getting views at that time. And while I was cool with having the attention at first, I was tired of, you know, once again being the butt of the joke. I'm not gonna lie. I quit. I didn't want nothing to do with fighting games no more. And the only time I was even willing to entertain the idea of playing a fighting game was when my two brothers were also playing it with me for moral support. But overall, I was checked out. I stuck to my DC Universe Online stuff. I started making videos for Xenoverse 1 eventually, and I kind of in a way abandoned the channel. And then I spent the rest of my time that year chilling with my brothers on PlayStation Home, playing some Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 every now and again. It was low-key even kind of, you know, look for another hobby, you know, and that was kind of the roots for me digging into creative writing and poetry at school, which later evolved into music. But for now, let's skip forward to 2014, where everything changed. So at this point in the timeline, it's mid to late 2014, and I check out the PlayStation Store to see what's new, and I see this game I've never seen or heard of before, Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate, and it was free. So on the first look, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think this was a fighting game. I looked at the girl on the cover with her eyes not showing on the screen. It had tears coming down with just her face. You couldn't see her eyes. And I assumed this might have been something along the lines of like a JRPG. I should also mention that I really started getting the JRPGs and action RPGs at this time, because I also accidentally got myself a 5-finger discount on my personal favorite game of all time, Dark Souls 3, which made me want to expand my palette of games, but that's a story for a whole nother day. I thought this was some Final Fantasy Kingdom Hearts JRPG shit, so I was like, well, alright, you know, it's a Final Fantasy type game, you know, I can play it for free, count me in, you know. I tell my brothers about it, you know, who they were probably in like some after school activities, I believe, at this point, so that way they can load up the game with me later, because they didn't play with me until later that night. I load up, and
This is a certified hood classic.
this isn't what I was expecting. DOA is a game, a fighting game. I'm not a fan of this genre. All this genre has done is gotten me laughed at, you know. And I had the choice of turning away from the experience right here. And I believe the only reason why I didn't is because of how competitive I was in other games that I was comfortable with. In Naruto and wrestling games specifically, I felt like personally I was getting really nasty, and I was like, okay, I'll at least see what the characters look like. I hit the training mode and look at the characters. Damn. A few baddies in this game, huh? Now, I don't have a problem with female characters in fighting games. And the reason why of that goes all the way back to Ready to Rumble boxing, which I'll probably go over in another video. But I see Hayabusa here, and I've seen a couple walkthroughs of Ninja Gaiden before up to this point, so he's someone that I like to play too. But the first character out of all of them that immediately caught my eye was Ayane.
What?
Very strange, right? Because if you look at my channel across all my videos, never have you ever seen me play this spinner, not a single time. But what made me look at Ayane first out of all the characters, bro, what do you think it was, man? You think it was the body, bro? You think it was the breasts? You think it was the hairstyle? Nah, bro. It's the eyes. It's the red eyes, bro. You see, in Naruto, majority of my main characters are dudes with Sharingan. And for those of you that don't know what Sharingan is, don't worry too much about it. Just know that the eyes are red. So I was like, damn, I could imagine her being like a member of the Uchiha clan and stuff like that. You know, sorry, I'm going to try not to nerd out too bad, but I was like really getting in my anime bag for Ayane, bro, to try and make her like work visually for me. My brothers hop on the game later that day, we try it out, and we all take a liking to, you know, all the features and stuff we was able to do. And we played almost all night, checking out the different ways you could play with online lobbies, like the tournaments, the kumites, and all that, bro. And we decided to all play this game together, all three of us. We queue up on rank together, we play lobbies together, and being in the habit of being in a PlayStation Network party almost every day, with the last part being something that me and my boys still keep up with to this day. So while playing Ayane, I eventually managed to get myself up to a B- rank with essentially a single setup. So what a lot of people like to do is they'll normally get forward punch either on counter hit or normal, and then they'll bop 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 bop. That was like the normal low level bread and butter joint. You know, one of these. But what I like to do specifically, I like to do punch back to get this back turn, and then I'll hit back kick to get that. And then normally if there's either a counter hit or if they are holding after the punch, if they try to hold right there and I get this little launcher, I normally get that full little back turn punch combo for free. And that was basically my entire combo string. Outside of that, I was literally just button mashing still. I was normally just out here pressing buttons. Yeah, that was essentially my entire game plan, because the people at the level that I was at the time, they didn't really do too much holding at all. They either did no holding or they held entirely too much, in which case if they held too much, I always had this back turn throw to rely on as well. So that was essentially my entire game plan. After I hit this rank, I kind of hit a glass ceiling. I for one stopped playing ranked as a means to preserve it, because I still felt like it was kind of high for where I was at skill wise. Like I really cared about rank at this time still, you know, as somebody that's still kind of like green compared when it comes to fighting games and stuff, you know, which is a habit. Low key, the rank zeitgeist, the rank brain rot, that's a habit that's hard for a lot of people to break. It's something that I didn't even break until a few years ago, honestly. And not to mention, I was also getting fried in lobbies, so I kind of felt like I hit a ceiling. So in an attempt to try and get better, I did something that I recommend nobody do when their goal is to improve at the game, and that's to fight the computer. You know, the reason why I tell people not to fight the computer is because they play absolutely nothing like how a real person plays. They're designed to button read you to death. And also, a real player, the tactics a real player uses is nothing like a CPU will use against you. So you aren't going to do much for yourself outside of just learning combos. That aside, I didn't notice back then, so I'm on the select screen, and the temporary unlock characters in the free version is Brad Wong and Momiji. I decided to fight Momiji with the CPU at level 8, and when I did, she whooped me bad for half an hour even. She made me not like this character for a good 20 minutes, but in the last 10, she did something to me that absolutely blew my mind. I went from I hate this character to I want to learn the absolute mess out of this character just to do that one move. You telling me there's a chick that's just as powerful as she is hot, got all these mix-ups of damage, and has a modified flaming Izuna drop like female Hayabusa? I'm sold, bro. I'm sold. I haven't dropped a character that fast for another character since Naruto Ultimate Ninja 2 when I dropped Kakashi for Itachi. Bro, Momiji from then on became my official first main in DOA. This character, that one move, is what hooked me. I then started playing more than my brothers did, excessively more. I was on my competitive Naruto PlayStation Network account, The Great Naruto, and I was putting in more time to DOA than anything else. I was trying to learn critical burst setups and combos that do decent damage, and it got to a point where I hopped back into ranked, increased my rank up to B+ against stronger people. I was going into lobbies with guys like Evil Death King and Mr. Cool Dude, or MCD, before he got absolutely cracked at this game. And I would take my Momiji up there and I would slam everyone. And Evil Death King was like a U+, which is like one of like the top ranks, you know, it's one rank off from one of the top ranks in the game, like the star ranks. So, you know, I genuinely thought I was getting really fucking good at this game thanks to all the work I was putting in with Momiji. This all changed on a random day on DOA 5 when a guy named Electrify Man joined a packed lobby that I was in, full of people who I consider to be good at the game. And when this man joined, everyone in the voice chat got quiet. Everyone went back to the lobby and changed their fight stance from fighter to spectator. Nobody wanted to fight him, bro. And as a casual, if you know, you know, rightfully so. He's one of like the best, like, Helena players to pilot the character. Probably one of the best players, like literally one of the best players to ever touch this iteration of the game. You know, I haven't even seen how he plays in older DOA games, but to see like how he performs in DOA 5, yeah, he's one of the best without a doubt. No question. Walking up to fight him is like asking to box with a god, but of course me, one that never really wanted to be seen as a scary motherfucker, I stepped up to fight him for the whole lobby to witness. What transpired in that lobby was a massacre, abuse, belt to ass. Nah, even worse. This was like belt to ass if they sharpened the spikes and they had black mamba venom coated on the shit, bro. 50-0. I didn't get a single round. I got greatest at least 20 of those games. Greatest means you get perfect at 3 rounds in a row. The entire match you got hit with a perfect, right? And I don't even remember how many individual greats he got. Each game, the other 11 people that was in that lobby had something to bust out laughing about, bro. And in the process, bro, that just all added salt to the wound, bro. And I'm not gonna lie, in the worst part, man, on game 50, he got another great, but he did something that was so traumatic to me that when it happens, I still cringe about it to this day. He beat me, right? He won the match, but he quit out on the game before his winner quote could even start. And no, to this day, I never got a run back. I've never seen him again after this, bro. I'll catch him on YouTube videos, but in terms of like actually seeing him to actually play against him, never again. From then on, I was low-key terrified and, you know, of competitive players, bro, because I was about on a year at this point thinking that I was good. Then someone who I've never seen with a high rank comes in and essentially just let his nuts hang on me in front of all the homies, bro. And I just can't have that, man. You know, from then on, I just kind of like devolved into like a casual player. Like, I still played, I still got on every day, I still really enjoyed the game, but I kind of just stayed in my place, you know. And my place at that time was a hardcore casual, so that's where I was at, just a casual. And this is also where I started doing the thing where I hop in lobbies, and instead of playing, I just got in the habit of just like spectating, just watching other people play, because sometimes I just didn't want to run the risk of, you know, feeling myself in a lobby and potentially getting my shit rocked again. You know, I was scared. And this is also a time where I got into my light skin phase, I guess you could say, because during my casual days, I spent a lot of time dating with female DOA players and actually trying to get better at the game. And this led to a lot of things happening, which some things on the game, some things in real life, bro. And honestly, if you guys want to hear about that, I'll have to make a whole nother video for that, because we'll be here all day if I do. But I did a lot as a casual, bro. I dated. I went out and actually dated one of these people in real life because they actually didn't live that far away from me. Got cheated on by another DOA female. Got catfished by what I thought was a DOA female. Got confused for a predator that was a 40-year-old. People thought I was a 40-year-old man, but like, yeah. I gotta make that video at some point. But what made me start to take the game a little bit more serious, if not just a little bit, was because of one of these female DOA players that I dated. That was also pretty damn good at the game compared to me. She was nasty. And for the sake of this video, because I don't want to put her out there, we're gonna call her Lola, because she was a blonde Latina with the face card that'll melt your soul, right? Lola would beat my ass really bad on DOA. So my pickup line, which normally would be, I could teach you how to play the game, went to teach me how to get better at the game, my baby. You know, and through her teaching me what she knew about DOA, I managed to get a little bit more improvement, and I ended up finding my second character for DOA, that being Rachel. That's right. The reason why I mained Rachel, and the reason why she is my strongest character up until I started competing with Lisa, is because Ghost was trying to clap some cheeks on DOA, bro. And if using the same character that the person that was beating his ass was using was the means to an end, then so be it. But I mean, hey, it works. I was playing Momiji and Rachel and having more fun than I had with any other game for 2014 and 15. And I was just getting on, you know, playing around, you know, spending time with Lola before, you know, the drama happened. The drama, damn it, Lola. And in March of 2015, DOA 5 got updated to Last Round, which completely changed how you have to play Momiji, which I had a hard time adapting to and I didn't like very much at all. So I opted to mainly just using Rachel. However, me being a casual sweat playing almost every day, I started to eventually get to the point where I played the roster a bit more. I remember taking a liking to the vast majority of the female characters. Design wise, I liked Lisa the best when she wasn't in her La Mariposa Lucha gear, but I felt like she was too complicated to pick up at the time. But then you also had girls like Tina with big damage and, you know, with more speed than people like Bass. So I started to use her a bit more, and I tried to get a little bit more time in with Hayabusa and Ian, or Ian as people call them. Because I like those two characters as well. They just don't resonate with me enough for me to want to main them. All this fun I was having translated directly into my content as well, since I started to post a lot, and I mean a lot more videos again on DOA 5 specifically, both in the Ultimate and Last Round versions, using a Roxio game capture. Hours of video content that I ended up with 100 subs on the channel. Some of them being people that I used to talk to on my videos almost daily. But soon everything changed. Fast forward to 2017, I was prepping to go to college, and there were also rumors about YouTube potentially implementing a safe for kids, not safe for kids thing in their videos going on, you know, about monetization. Now, when I was young, I kind of always wanted to be like one of the big YouTube guys. Like, that was like one of my dreams, because I grew up on, you know, just watching YouTube videos and stuff like that during my teen years after you know, the age of the internet began for real. I only had 100 subs, so in reality I really shouldn't have been worried about this at all. I should have just kept doing what I was doing, but I got paranoid and thinking my channel was going to be taken down because of that. And then, you know, because of, you know, the DOA girls are just seen as, you know, characters with titties on them, so it led to me making the decision to nuke my channel, the ImpureEpicity channel, with the only proof left of its existence being that one Tekken Revolution clip. I want to give a very, very special shout out to Alisada Boskonovich. I don't remember too many names when I was the Great Naruto on PlayStation Network and ImpureEpicity on YouTube, but her name was one that never escaped me. She was one of the ones who watched and actually supported me through all the stuff that I was dealing with, bro. I think she was around like on Tekken Revolution, and when I made that transition from Tekken Revolution to DOA, and I'm not gonna lie, it's very likely that she won't even remember who I am. We haven't really spoke since I deleted that channel. She probably doesn't even know that I make content still. But she was probably one of the nicest friends, the nicest people that I knew about on the online space at that time. But when I was on that channel, she was probably one of the nicest people that I had met at the time. And I won't forget the fun, you know, sets that we used to run back on DOA 5 Ultimate back in the day. You know, what a wild time. Even though I nuked the channel, I still played and enjoyed DOA. Hell, I still loved YouTube because I didn't stay gone for too long, because I ended up back on YouTube underneath the tag Ghost Rider Cartel, which I eventually just changed into Golden Ghosts. And this in 2018 became my music page. Now, I'm not going to dig deep into the music stuff, but all you need to know for the sake of this story is I have a couple songs where I leased the beat from Nasu Fuji. Nasu Fuji being a DOA player as well, because these were Dead or Alive beats. I didn't make a full-scale return into gaming content until 2020, where I came back with my first upload being DOA, and I even decided to return to Tekken a little bit because a vast majority of good DOA players that I knew about and played with regularly to this point, you know, people like Dark Phoenix, Hollow Ichigo, which is now better known as Sinister Siren, Rendering Star, One Wise Boxer, they all played a little bit of Tekken. And you know, I'm glad I did, because I met one of my big homies through Tekken 7 in real life, you know, offline while working third shift at a General Motors subsidy plant. But that's another story time, bro. I got a lot of stories. Y'all want some story times, bro? I can give y'all some story times. Point is, I managed to get a lot better at Tekken thanks to my big homie pushing me to want to get better, but also because I really just wanted to be like, you know, I just wanted to be like in the same space with my DOA homies, and that kind of restored the love I have for that franchise. That's not to say that those are the only games I was playing. I was recently getting into Guilty Gear Strive. I was making content for that as well. I post my Call of Duty and my Naruto stuff every here and there. Granted, I did try to make a DOA series called Shadow Games, which was supposed to be like trash talk beef set style content, which is ironically enough stuff that's popular now in the Tekken scene, but I digress. But wasn't nobody viewing that when I was doing it, man. So I just kept playing, and I tried other content as well where I was just playing the game, enjoying the games that I play, because I just play what I like. And one thing I also can't forget to mention is that 4 years ago exactly, I made a video shouting out Emery Reigns for giving him his flowers, because I still played the game, and you know, the only one that was really making consistent content for the game at that time was him. You know, I was very grateful to that. And I always wanted to make content for, you know, the things that I like and get traction. But yeah, nah, Emery seen it and replied to it, and that was a very big deal for me at the time, you know, because, you know, I never really was seen by anyone, you know. I'm just a guy who barely made DOA content. Like, you know, it wasn't really doing that much for me at the time. However, this got me back into wanting to make DOA content. It got me wanting to, you know, get myself more involved, and I was making sure to sprinkle it in between everything else that I did. I want to say Elden Ring is where I not only got more traction for the channel, but is where I got a stronger laptop and allowed me to get better at editing my own stuff and allow me to take things more seriously, as well as getting a real editor for playthroughs, which is where I hired my homie Chris. Shout out to my boy Hobo Chris. He helped me get stuff like the Bloodborne project done. He helped me do that. I played a bit of Street Fighter and did some playthrough stuff for Stellar Blade, played some Tekken 8, but among all of that, I never forgot about DOA. I didn't really play it as much because, you know, I play a lot of different things for one, but for two, I feel like there's not much more to do for DOA that hasn't already been done before. So if I wanted to make a name for myself in the DOA space, if I wanted to make original quality content, I had to create something for DOA that was bigger than myself. Something that was showing love to those that still play DOA, as well as giving flowers to the community and those that came before me. That's when I came up for the idea for my own DOA series that works. Dead or Alive Primetime. This is my gem for the DOA community. Something that I'm doing that's original, that's meant to be a celebration for those that keep the game alive to this day. Between that, streaming DOA as often as I can and sprinkling DOA content in between my videos, that about brings us to today, where I've been part of this community now pretty thoroughly. I have nods from people that are long upstanding figures in the space, and their wisdom they've passed down to me has moved me to a point where I'm, if you want to be very technical, I'm considered a competitive player now. I've been entering multiple tournaments at this point. I should also take this time to give a special shout out to Rev and DOA 6++, because that was a fan-made created project version of the game created by a guy named Revin, who had a version of Lisa that was so fun to play, even by my standards as someone that considered her too tricky to play, that it gave me the motivation to picking up the character in general, that from a design perspective I kind of liked it the most, you know. And the more that I use Lisa, the more that I played Lisa, the more I find reasons as to why me picking this character just made sense for me, man. I loved wrestling growing up, you know. I watched wrestling with my brother all the time, and I was a sweat at wrestling games. Lisa's a lucha character. My favorite Marvel character is my glorious Queen Storm, you know, Aurora Monroe, you know, a black woman. In real life, I'm married to a black woman. Lisa is a black woman. You know, it just kind of all just fell in line, and this character has gotten me right back into the DOA 5 and 6 grind mind state, as I've gotten, you know, as I've came to realize I have quite a lot more to learn with the character that I enjoy now, just as much as I did when I first picked up Momiji all those years ago, which you will see content for that in the near future as well. Among all this though, I'll never forget where I started with this game and the online fighting game experience, no matter how good I get. That's why I've straight up bought people on Twitter's copies of the game like Furiosa. That's why I've took the time out to review people's gameplay like when they're struggling, like I did for Maelstrom. That's why in the future going forward, I'm going to be shouting out creators that was in the same position as me, just making content for the game, playing the game, enjoying the game, and only getting 20 views from it, because they deserve to, for their actual playtime and support of the game, to be recognized. And I will continue to show love for those that show me that they're playing the game and making an attempt on being a part of this wonderful experience and a part of this wonderful community. And that's really what this whole story comes down to. Dead or Alive wasn't just another fighting game I picked up. It was a game that met me at my lowest point with the genre and gave me a reason to still be here. It taught me how to lose, how to learn, and how to find a community in places I did not expect. How to keep showing up when the spotlight wasn't even there. DOA carried me from being a frustrated kid, always being laughed at, to a grown man that's still pressing buttons, because why? He genuinely loves this shit. So when I say DOA is a reason I still play fighting games, I mean that literally. Not Tekken, not Guilty Gear, not whatever's hot right now. DOA kept me here long enough to grow into the player and the creator that I am today. And DOA Primetime isn't about me being the best, it's about giving that same love, back to the people who never left. The ones that are still holding it down, and the ones that might just be discovering their own fighting game moment through DOA right now. If you stuck around for this whole story, I appreciate you more than you realize. If DOA meant something to you at any point in your life, then you're already a part of this journey. And as long as I'm still here, DOA is always going to have a place in this channel. And if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more, don't forget to leave a like, comment, share with your friends, all that good stuff. And as always, subscribe for some more from the Golden Ghost Cartel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Deuces. Love y'all. Peace out.